Hey, it's Brian with the Midnight Mechanic, and today we're going to do another one of our simple oil change videos where we're going to show you how to change the oil in your Grand Marquis or your Crown Victoria. This is our 2006 Grand Marquis, and it is in really bad need of an oil change. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to show you how to do it. You guys might be thinking, why are you doing oil change videos? You guys do so much more stuff on this channel that's more in depth than this. Well, you may just be getting into cars, and you may have a car like this. You want to learn how to change your oil. You can do it very easily. It'll make you feel better about working on cars and maybe make you want to do some more in-depth stuff or some modifications to your car. Now, the first thing you need to do is go ahead and get it up in the air. And you can do that with a jack and some jack stands, or you can put it up on ramps. Or in our case, we're going to throw it up on our AMGO lift that we got from ASA Deals. That way we can access it without having to roll around on the ground. Sorry, you're probably going to have to roll on the ground, but we're not going to do it right now. So follow along. We're going to throw up on the lift and show you what you got to do. Once you get your car up in the air, a lot of times it's good just to look around underneath and see if there's anything that stands out that might need to get done to it. Ours looks fine under here. A lot of times you look for oil leaks, things that are cracked, any damage that you know you might need to replace. Well, ours looks fine. There's nothing here. There's no oil leaks. There's nothing like this. This is a relatively low mile car that was owned by an old guy who really maintained the thing. Nothing we really need to worry about. What we are going to do is we're going to change our oil. So our oil pan is right here. Don't take this off. This is your transmission pan. Chase did that once. He drained all the oil out of that. And I'm going to go ahead and call him out for that. But right here is your oil pan. And that is where all your oil hides, obviously. The plug is right here. What you're going to want to do if you don't have a lift is set your pan out underneath it, set your jug out, something to collect your oil. And more than likely your car is going to take a little over a gallon of oil. Make sure you have something that'll hold the right amount, that your oil jug has plenty of capacity in it. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a total mess. What we have is we have a really tall collector that you can roll under here and drain it right out in there, and it goes right down the chute. Then we go ahead and take it out to be recycled. So we're going to go ahead and roll that in here, and we're going to show you how to do it. So here's our oil collector right here, and here's our oil pan where the oil plug is. Make sure if you have something like this, if that oil plug comes out and it goes down in there, it's going to go all the way down to the bottom of it. So make sure you have some way to collect it, or just keep your hand on it and make sure it doesn't fall off and get down in there. You can still get it out with a magnet. It's just going to be a whole lot of mess. So just be really careful. The other thing you need to realize is it probably has a gallon of oil in there, like we said. When you take that plug out, it's not just going to drip straight down. It's going to come out with some force. So it's going to come out like this. Make sure it's placed at an angle where it's going to go in there. If not, it's going to go right off the edge and make a mess. So once you do that, you also got to remember as it gets lower, that drain is going to start coming lower like this. So make sure you keep an eye on it as it gets lower, and you may need to readjust to make sure it goes down in there. We're going to go ahead and pop this off and drain it right down in this thing here. So now we're going to go ahead and remove this plug. It's a 5/8, which I think might be a 16 millimeter. I don't know. 5/8 is what we're going to use on this. Now we're going to get it out and make sure we have this thing setting right. Also, wear some gloves. It'll keep your hands a little bit cleaner, especially when you start taking this out, because it's going to get all over your hands to make sure you don't drop that plug. Now take your plug and set it aside. So now that all the oil is finished draining out, it's time to put the oil plug back in. Go ahead and wipe it off, wipe it clean, and also before you do that, inspect it to make sure there's no metal or anything on here that might indicate there's another problem with your car. So go ahead and wipe it clean, make sure it's all dry, and go ahead and bolt it back up. Try to get it hand tight. First, you know that you're not cross-threading that thing. You do not want to cross-thread this, because if you do, you're going to end up pulling your oil pan to go ahead and put a new thing on there. So now you want to tighten it, but you don't want to over-tighten it, because if you over-tighten it, then you might end up stripping your oil pan also. So go ahead and make it snug enough that it won't fall out, but not over-tight. Then once you get that done, wipe any oil off, because then you won't end up with it dripping on your driveway, on your shop floor, or anywhere else, burning on the exhaust. Just go ahead and get it clean. Now that that's all done, we're going to go ahead and move on over to removing the oil filter. Your oil filter is right here on the driver's side, right above the steering rack. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to get out. you can get it right here through the side with a wrench. So it won't be too big of a deal, but there's a whole lot of stuff here in the way. And when that oil comes off of there, it's going to run off all this. So try to position this somewhere in here, and it's probably going to get all over this right here. But make sure that it's kind of lined up to where it'll try to get in your catch bucket. Otherwise, it's going to get everywhere. So we kind of have this lined up. We're going to go ahead and take it off. Hopefully I have it lined up enough that I won't get oil all over the shop floor. So it's probably best to use an oil filter socket to get on here to get it off. We're going to use an oil filter wrench. Just see if we can get up there and just kind of grip it on the end here and turn it loose. Once it's loose a little bit, you can reach up and grab it and just turn it off. The oil will start coming out as you do it. Just try and find a spot where it comes out to. This one actually has a little like funnel right here, so when it comes out, it kind of goes down in there into this funnel, and then it drips out like here right onto this. A lot of times though, when you turn it, stuff goes everywhere. Just let it come a little bit, get it like this, screw it off. When you get it off, more oil is going to come out, and it's probably going to go everywhere. Bring it out upside down, and then let the rest of the oil drain out in your catch can. Now that we have it out, we're going to go ahead and install the new oil filter. Now this is where a lot of people get upset with me, but it really doesn't matter because you're not actually getting it in the filter. Get a little bit of used oil and run it right here on your filter. I mean, that's probably not the best thing to get it off of that because it's got a little bit of dirt along with it, but you just want to, just that gasket. Don't put it in the oil filter, just put it on that gasket right there. Then you make it easier for it to seal on that thing. A lot of people hate me because I used dirty oil, but at the same time, it's just a tiny little bit on the seal. It's not actually clogging the filter. You probably get more dirt shoving it back up in that hole than you do with what I just did. So now I'm going to stick it back up in there, and I can see the screw, and I'm just going to go ahead and screw it on there tight. A lot of times when you have gloves on and they get a little bit of oil on it, it gets very slippery. So tighten it down as best as you can with the filter, with your gloves on. Once you get it to where it's kind of snug, go ahead and take your gloves off, wipe it off with the rag, and then you can go ahead and get it really tight, hand tight. You don't want to use any mechanical means, any wrenches or anything like that to tighten it down because then you won't be able to get it back off again. Just tighten it down as best as you can, as strong as you can with your hands so it doesn't back off, but it won't stay put to the point where you can't get it off next time. That's about as tight as I can get it on with my hands in that tight area. Make sure it's not loose because if it's loose, it could back off and then you have all kinds of problems. Also make sure with your old oil filter, look and make sure that that seal is still on your oil filter. Sometimes that comes off and sticks up there on your oil filter boss. If it does that, then it won't seal and oil will come out everywhere. So just verify that that seal is still in your oil filter before you go ahead and install your new one. Now with that installed, go ahead and try and clean off as much of this oil as you can because you don't want that dripping all over your driveway, all over your shop, anything like that, burning oil. Go ahead and clean it off. I'm actually going to spray it with some brake cleaner a little bit just to make sure I get everything off of it because it gets everywhere when you do that. So I'm going to go ahead and try to clean it off the best I can with a little bit of brake cleaner just to keep my car cleaner. Then I'm going to go ahead to the top, start filling up with oil. So now that you have everything back together, all the oil drained out, it's time to go ahead and fill it back up again. Now, if you have your car on ramps, don't start the thing off and back it off to go ahead and fill it up because you ain't got no oil in that thing. This one, we have it on the lift. Obviously, we can just lower it down. No big deal. It takes 6 quarts of oil. So once we get it down, we're going to go ahead and start filling it back up. But right now, we just need to get it down on the ground. Make sure no tools or anything like that are in the way of it. If you have it on a lift or if you have it on jack stands and you're lowering it down, Either way, just make sure it's clean. Then we can go ahead and start filling it up with oil. So your Grand Marquis or your Crown Victoria is going to go ahead and take 6 quarts of oil. It says to use 5W20. I personally use 5W30 in here. And what I'm going to use is this Pennzoil Ultra Platinum. It's actually made from natural gas instead of crude oil. It may be a marketing thing, I don't know, but it's supposed to be cleaner inside your engine and not sludge up as bad. And it doesn't get ducts as nasty when it spills on the ground. So when you go to fill it up, the oil fills right here on the passenger side valve cover. You take it off, and you're going to want to put a funnel in here so you don't spill it everywhere all over exhaust and gets it smelling. I can't find my good funnel. You guys have seen this before. I used a bottle and I just cut the end off of it. Make sure there's nothing that'll fall in there. Clean it out real good so it's not wet. You can go ahead, start pouring your 6 quarts in here. And I spilled anyway. Now I'm going to pour a quart out of this one right here. It has a little sight glass on the backside. So you can see it has 5 quarts in it. So when it gets down to the 4, I know I got 6 quarts in there because I just poured 5 in. Careful when you take this out. You don't want oil spilled everywhere, even though I already spilled oil everywhere. Put your oil cap on. Mine's backwards. I'm a little weird. I don't want it backwards. Get it forwards and try to clean off any oil that you might have spilled because it's going to get on your exhaust or somewhere hot and then you'll smell oil inside. People inside will complain. You don't want that. Now that we got it full of 6 quarts of oil, we can go ahead and make sure that there's nothing sitting anywhere that is going to burn and smell and cause any problems. So just clean it up a little bit, look underneath, make sure there's no leaks anywhere. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to fire it up and we're going to reset that oil change light on the dashboard. So after you change your engine oil, you need to reset your oil life sensor. It's going to have a light that comes up on the dash that tells you it's time to change your engine oil. Obviously, you need to turn that off so your car knows when it's time to change the engine oil. Again, if you're not paying attention to the mileage on there. Well, unfortunately, when I did this video before, I forgot to put the microphone on. So it was no sound on it. So it's already reset itself. So I can't show you how to do that. But I can still show you how to do the process because it's the same thing whether or not you've already reset it. You can do it over and over and over again. So I'm going to show you how to do it real fast here. So the first thing you do is make sure your door is closed because a warning is going to come up on your dashboard that you can't get rid of otherwise. Turn your ignition on. Now, if your oil life sensor is tripped, it's going to come up there and it says change engine oil. In that case, come down here, hit the reset button, and it's going to go back to this. Now, right now, I'm going to hit this setup, select, and reset button. Now, up on this dashboard, I'm going to hit the setup button, and it's going to go to a systems check. I'm going to hit select. Then it's going to ask about the engine oil and hold reset if you have it reset. Mine's going to say 100% because I just changed the oil and I accidentally reset it without the microphone. So I'll show you how to do it. So I'm going to hit setup and then select. It's going to ask about the engine oil, and I'm going to hold that and hold it until it flips over to washer fluid okay. Now it is reset. It says systems okay. You can turn your car off, and now it's reset. So one of the things I like to do is set a reminder for myself so I know when it's time to change my oil next. I know the car will tell me, but sometimes I like to do it before that, right around 5,000 miles. The old adage used to be 3,000 miles with conventional oil, but with these new synthetics and things, people say you can go up to 10,000 miles. I don't really like doing that. I like to go 5,000 miles. So I'll leave myself a little note up here on the windshield so I know what mileage it is. So turn my ignition on, I see how many miles are there. Then I'm going to take a dry erase marker. And up here, I'm going to add 5,000 miles of that. So I'm going to go 167, 221. Now it's up there in an area where I probably won't touch it. And I know it's going to stay there until it's time to change my oil again. So there you go. Now you know how to change the oil easily in your car like this. The hardest part really was just resetting that oil life sensor, but we're posting another video separate from this one to show you how to do that in case you forget. That way you don't have to go scrolling through this video to find it. There'll be a whole nother video on it. Now, don't forget to recycle your oil. Don't just dump it in the ground. Don't throw it in the trash can. Most auto parts stores will have a place you can dump waste oil. And also, a lot of convenience centers in your county or your state will have places to recycle your oil. Do that. Take care of the environment. You don't want to be that guy that sets a bad example for car guys that don't care about the environment. We do, because the longer we can keep our environment safe, the longer we can keep our dinosaur-powered cars here. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see more how-tos and projects we have going on. Follow our social media to keep up with what we have going on in the shop. See you guys next time.